The following content contains adult language and humor that is not suitable for viewers under the age of 18. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. The views and opinions expressed during the following video content are those of the individual and may not reflect those of others. Thank you. Pop culture, entertainment, watch party, reaction, open panel, news, opinion, discussion, review, rumor. All on PACIFIC414 Pop Talk.
That's a lot.
Featuring Baron Orman Tagge of Baron Orman Tagge's Fandom Legacy.
Where are you?
Cash Money 007 of Phantom Hooligan.
Hey, that's me.
With your host, Mike, PACIFIC414.
Who is that guy?
With special guest, ApyOn.
I know that guy.
That's me.
Welcome, one and all, to tonight's episode on YouTube and Rumble. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome, one and all, to this edition of PACIFIC414 Pop Talk, along with Cash Money 007. I am your host, Mike. Unfortunately, Baron had an emergency, so he is not with us tonight.
Yep.
But tonight, we are proud to welcome a good friend of the channel. It's been a while since he's been here, and I am grateful that he accepted tonight's invitation to join us. We have ApyOn with us.
Hello.
Welcome, ApyOn.
Hello
there.
dude.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Thanks for having me, man. It's good to be back on your show, Pop Talk.
Well,
hello, everybody in the chat. Hello.
Thank you for accepting the invitation. Now, of course, before we get underway with the questions that Cash and I do have for you for tonight, we do have another episode of Beverly Hills 414.
Ooh, sweet.
From the one and only T-Gap Steve. Nah, I'm going with this music.
Okay.
Previously on Beverly Hills 414. Baron had narrowly avoided getting tased by the golf course security guard for looking poor on exclusive property. Not through cunning, but because the guard ended up taking a cookie to the knee.
What? Okay.
Ducking down behind a Mercedes, he checked his pockets. Damn! Why did he have to drop his phone in the bathroom and leave it behind? Well, at least it was post-flush and not before. He made a dash for the golf cart stand and looked for one of the keys in it when he narrowly ran into a couple. Instantly, the man's phone was in hand to call the police, while the woman nearly fainted. Oh no. Chadley, Karen, how wonderful to see you. The smooth as silk stockings voice came from behind him. I see you've come across my pet. Naughty, naughty pet. Back on your leash, now. Uh-oh, where's this going? Baron was stuck. If he turned to face the Baroness, he might be unable to act at the sight of her jugs. Though this idea of being on a leash, didn't they do that in Berlin?
Oh my.
I had to change the music. Crypto and Jace were driving full speed away from the supermarket. Only when they were a couple blocks away did Crypto curse himself for not checking if it was double coupon day. The silence in the car was near deafening. So Jace, you're looking well. Crypto tried and wondered why didn't he just talk about the weather. The Norwegian just shrugged and took a turn. Don't try an F. Suck my F and tell me it's raining, Jace finally said. Ask what you want. I'm trying to keep myself from laughing, but I'm laughing.
Oh,
Directed to the point and foul mouth, it certainly was Jace. All right, why did you help me? Crypto asked. Since that was really what he wanted to know, he still felt like he was blindly walking into a situation where he was going to take a pie to the face. Because those little... it just that's why.
Oh man.
Well, it's an answer that again Jace had to keep up his Norwegian reputation that of F this, F that,
Yep.
and F hate F. Crypto decided that he could trust Jace not to throw him under the bus, so as long as his hate for C
Oh, man.
was more than his hate for Crypto, and as long as he didn't remember that thing in Cairo. What happened to Cairo, Cash?
I have no idea.
Mike was in a bit of a quandary. He had no idea where to go, and the phone app he used to track the RFID tags Baron kept in his underwear showed they were all back at his home. Oh, God. His phone suddenly pinged with a notification. As he opened up the app, he saw her. The Baroness had taken a selfie. Wow, she still had it. No bad focus, Mike. Not on the tatas either. Feeling cute, may put some balls in the hole before world domination, the caption on the photo read. Behind her, Mike recognized the clubhouse from the exclusive golf club and day spa. It was a trap, obviously, but he didn't have a choice. But could he trust Mr. M to take him there? And not try something shiesty?
Yeah.
The man had already been talking about playing cornhole.
Oh god.
Can Baron escape the wily wiles of the Baroness, especially when she seemingly already got friends in rich places? Will he manage to stay off her leash? Can Crypto trust Jace to know where he's driving to? Will the man remember what happened in Cairo? Can he loop back and check on those double coupons?
Man, those coupons, man. It's great.
Is Mike going to be in time for a last-minute daring rescue of his friend? Or will he swoop in only to have a brainwashed Baron betray him and stab him in the back? This and more on today's episode of Beverly Hills 414 after these messages. Speaking of messages, folks, do you or someone you know play a game on easy mode? Do they say they do it for the enrichment of the story?
Ugh.
Do they say that they don't want to die as many times as PACIFIC414 does while he plays a game?
Probably.
If so, get them the help they need. Have them call this number on your screen right now. Call 1-800-555-NOOB. That's 1-800-555-NOOB. Our operators are standing by to take your calls right away and get your friend or family member the much needed help that they so desperately need. Remember, our motto here at 1-800-555-NOOB is don't let your friends play on easy mode.
Please.
Stop them.
All right. Now that we got that done, I can turn off the music and I can greet everyone else who's in the chat. Thank you, TCAP Steve, for the latest episode of Beverly Hills 414. So let's see. Who do we have here besides TCAP Steve? We have Brandon Looney Tunes Fan 2000. Welcome, Brandon. Let's see. We have the Padawannabe. Welcome, Padawannabe.
Yes, welcome.
And we also have Phil McCracken. Welcome, Phil. Oh, looky, Cash Money is here, a.k.a. Pushing Man. Wake up, Cash Money.
Yeah.
And speaking of that Norwegian, Jace is here. Jace is here.
Mm-hmm. He is.
He was in the story.
He was.
Yes. And we also have Hunty here. Good to see you.
Yes.
Yes, Steve is giving all the stories. And we also have, this is a new face. Joseph is here. Love the chat stories. That's something that T Gap came up with, and we're
Mhm.
just running with it.
Yep.
How many episodes of that has he done?
At least a few.
A few
Yeah,
of them. Nice.
almost a dozen.
Nice. Got like a full season of that or something.
You know, that would be pretty entertaining if someone knew how to animate, do the
Right.
whole thing.
With that music too. That music is
Yeah.
perfect.
Yep.
And let's see. We have the old man here.
Mm-hmm. Bone
Welcome,
just
old
joined
man.
us.
Yes, I see Bone is here in the chat with us. Good to see you, Bone. So, ApyOn, how have you been, brother?
I've been good.
Good,
Life's
good.
pretty good. I can't complain. I'm just still doing my channel thing, trying to make new videos about movies I like, TV shows I like, playing some video games, and then real life stuff. You gotta have that. You gotta have a balance. You can't just live on the internet as much as I'd like to.
Yeah, I do know. It's
Yeah,
good to have
as
a
much as
real
we
life.
would all like to live on the interwebs for the rest of our life, you can't do that. You got to get out there, smell the fresh air, and touch some grass.
Do some stretching, and don't just because if we sat in our chairs about 24 hours a day and we didn't move, it would be a problem. Turn into that Cartman episode, like that World of Warcraft stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The World of Warcraft guy, he's got like the wrist
Yep.
thing on, and he's
Uh-huh.
slouched back.
Nope.
Cartman, like having the bathroom in his room. Mom, bathroom. What's up, Jet?
And hello, Jet Sparks.
Hello.
So, ApyOn, there's
What's
one
up?
thing inquiry minds want to know tonight. How did you begin your YouTube journey?
Well, I started just playing like the game Planet Coaster. Have you heard of that? It's like a newer roller coaster tycoon type game.
Nice.
And that's what my earlier videos were like. Before I even got close to doing live, I would just do like shorts of like a minute of a ride. Like I would make, because you can make your own rides and then you can ride
Mhm.
them, and then you pretty much have a camera view to show like what people, you know, are seeing when you're riding the ride, and you can pretty much show off your theme park that you built and things like that.
So, from there, what else did you start to do on the channel? You know, what came next?
I think like after the Planet Coaster, because I started just doing short little videos of the rides, and then eventually I started watching like people do like park spotlights where they do like 20-30 minute videos of them like going through an entire theme park, and then
That's
like having
cool.
commentary and talking about it. So I watched a lot of those videos, and then I started doing those on my own parks, and then I tried to do a couple of other people's parks, and then after I got kind of did all I could do on Planet Coaster, kind of built all the parks I had, wanted to make every theme I could do. I kind of was over that, and I wanted to start doing entertainment and stuff. I started watching people like Critical Drinker and other big name YouTubers, and like watching their live streams and watching their little video essays and stuff. And it really got me into the whole like wanting to talk about movies and TV shows more. So then I started covering movies and TV shows, and just trying my hand at what that's like, and trying a little bit of editing and stuff. A lot of my editing, it was real lazy, and especially with my shorter videos, like it's basically like I'll grab a trailer, copy it up, like chop it up, and like paste it a couple times. Like I really wouldn't put too much effort into the like the video stuff on screen. I mostly just wanted to like use it for practice and try to just make little videos about short topics. As you can see, yeah, I kind of just I started with She-Hulk, I'm pretty sure, or maybe, there's She-Hulk, so I guess there was a couple ones before that. I don't know if, like, the ones you're looking at are in order. But, yeah, before I even, like, talked too much on camera, like, I was kind of, didn't wa wasn't sure if I was ready for that yet, so I would have, like, little videos where I would just play around with clips, make little short 1 or 2 minute videos, and then I started doing more gameplay videos, and, yeah, there's the parks, Planet Coaster stuff, and, yeah, trying out gameplay like Apex Legends. So it's just I was really not really focused on any one specific, thing. I was kind of just trying out different stuff. Yeah, there's my first YouTube video, Venture Coaster. Didn't even have a clever name for the ride. But it got 600 views, so it was a pretty good
Yep.
first video, like, coming out, and, like, a lot of my followers and stuff I got was from, like, shorts too. Like, I also did, like, just shorts, like, with, like, face swapping, like, Galadriel from Rings of Power and, like, putting her in different character roles, and then I also did that with, Frost, because remember when, like, Frost was, like, trending or
Mhm.
whatever, and everybody was
Yes.
talking about
Yeah.
how great she was, and, so I was making little videos about her, but then I started just doing a lot of, Fortnite shorts are really what helped me get a lot of my subscribers as well. Like, I'm pretty sure that's where a lot of my subscribers are, is, like, from the
Hmm.
Fortnite clips, because I did those for months and months, and some of them would get, like, 4.5K, like, some of them would get into the 1,000 views, some of them
Wow.
didn't do so good, so it was kinda just trying to find the right time of day to put up a short, like, sometimes I think it was, like, for a while there, I'd put up a short every day at, like, the same time, and try to see how good of views I could get.
Hmm.
Sometimes it didn't do good, sometimes I'd get a few thousand.
Mhm.
Yeah, the shorts was a big part of it before I really started doing, like, talk show panels and stuff like that.
Yeah, and at the time last year, it was something that YouTube was really pushing. Oh, do shorts, do
Mhm.
shorts.
Because of TikTok, yeah. It's like, "Oh,
Hmm.
we can do this too." Yeah. Now it's not. I don't know. YouTube is weird though. Do you feel ApyOn, because you've been doing this longer than some of us, and um, but do you feel that like with live streams, YouTube does suppress stuff. Like they don't want. I guess now it's interesting. You put out a video, and if you don't pay on YouTube, it's not going to continue to be featured. So it'll be recommended for like 24 hours, and that's it. But I think that they're. It seems to me YouTube, or owned by Google, obviously, that they're trying to suppress people, smaller
Mhm.
streamers, that they're like, "Oh, well, you have to pay to do this." And it's like, well, then you wonder why people aren't looking for alternatives. But I think you can do a lot on YouTube, but I think there's definitely some problems there. Do you agree with that? I mean, like, I still like doing live streams and other things like that, but I don't know. It just does it feel like they're suppressing that a little bit?
I think it,
Maybe
like, really
more?
depends on what, like, you're talking about on your channel. Like, if you don't really swear a lot or, like, say a
Mhm.
lot of offensive things, I think they might push you a little bit more
Hmm.
because they know you're not
Interesting.
hurtful to their brand, but, like,
Mhm.
I think they'll think that you're, trying to hurt the brand of YouTube, so they'll, like, do what you say. They'll kind of, like, silently, like, move you out of the spotlight. 'Cause I think, like,
Mhm.
when I started doing, like, She-Hulk rants and, like, actual rants and stuff where I'm cussing on camera and I'm, like, swearing and, going off,
Yeah.
I definitely felt like I wasn't getting the same, like, you know, spotlight. Because I remember my shorts would stay up for a good amount before I started doing that, and then when I
Hmm.
started, yeah, there's,
Interesting.
like, the
Okay.
Galadriel ones, and
Mhm.
but, yeah, I don't know. YouTube is funny. Like,
It is.
I have
Yeah.
some times where I do pretty good, but then sometimes
Mhm. Mhm.
videos don't. One of my biggest pet peeves with YouTube lately is, like, it'll tell me I got, like, 3,000 views, and then I'll check
Mhm.
in next day or something, and then, like, it's down to, like, 180 views on the same video, and it's like,
Mhm.
what the hell? And I'll have more likes than views, and I'm like, "This doesn't look good, it makes me look like a phony."
Right.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I'll give you a perfect example. A few weeks ago, we had Pops on the channel, and that live stream got 56, almost 60 views. And then YouTube brings it down to 29 views.
Yeah. It's like, "What did I do wrong?"
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
What could you explain why the views were gone? Did they
Mhm.
not watch enough seconds? What is the reasoning behind
Yep.
Yeah,
taking views away?
here's another thing about it too. The likes that were there for that live stream remained.
Mhm.
So that to me
Yeah.
didn't make sense. Okay, you're going to take away the views from this live stream, but you're keeping the
Mhm.
likes.
Right.
What's up with that?
Yeah, so the likes are real, but the view wasn't? That's yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I have that, like I said, I had that problem where I have a video with, like, 100 more likes than I actually have views, and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense." So what,
Mhm.
people just clicked on the video and liked it without pressing play? Okay, I guess.
I mean, I guess it could happen, but you'd still have to click on the link in order to get to the screen where you can hit the like.
Yeah.
And I do want to say hello to DJ Ronnie G, who says, "Hello, hey amigos."
Hello,
What's
DJ
up, DJ?
Ronnie G.
Yep, he's everywhere.
Yeah, like my Spider-Man playthrough, like the first and second ones had like 1,000 views, and then they dropped all the way down to like a couple hundred, and I
Mhm.
guess that makes sense. But I was wondering with you, Mike, because I know you had a Tomb Raider stream where you had like
Mhm.
amazing numbers. You had like 100 people watching or more or something. Did that one stay up, or did those numbers fluctuate and drop or something?
Those numbers fluctuated to a point where they were going up, they were going down, and then they finally stayed at somewhere around 2,000 views.
Damn. At least you got to keep some. You know what I mean? I guess you got to
Yeah,
think positive with that.
yeah.
Well, there's also botting going on too, man. Just like there
Yeah.
was on Twitch, and people were like, "That's not." I'm like, "Yeah, there is. Like there
Yeah, and
is
I didn't
without
send them out. I didn't pay any bots, you know what I
right,
mean?
No.
Like,
exactly."
it just yeah. It
And it,
sucks because I get excited. I'm like, "Oh, this video did so well," and then I look back and it didn't do quite as well as I had originally got hyped for, you know? Kind of, deflating a little bit. Like the Blade trilogy, like, you're on the page, like, that one was at 3,000 views when we first did it, and then now it's just stayed at 186, which is still good, but
mhm.
it's not what it was, and I was, like, texting my friend that was in it, like, "Oh, man, the video with you got a couple thousand views," and he's like, "Oh, no way," and then now I gotta tell him, like, "Yeah, that wasn't true, I guess."
Yeah,
Kind of
I mean, I guess you could take it one way. Officially, during the live stream, it did get that many views.
Right.
But then after
right.
YouTube does their tampering with it and
Mhm.
whatever else is going on behind the scenes, the views are what they are. Even
Right.
though you yourself can look into your studio and see how many views you got, and it could be frustrating.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it can be. And I think every time it doesn't matter if you're putting out a stream and stuff, and you can't just sit there and say, "Oh, YouTube's doing this, YouTube's doing this." It's like, well, what are you doing? What are you doing every time to make your stream better? If you're just doing gaming streams, make them as interesting as possible. Talk about other things. So I think that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get people to stick around. Like if I've noticed even when you're sitting there doing the same thing, people like people dying in games, though. I do know that for sure. You die 30,000 times in the same place, they're gonna keep watching. They want to watch the struggle.
Oh, yeah, play like that's why I don't wanna play, like, Elder Rings or something on a stream because 'cause I'm just gonna sit in there on the same boss for, like, an entire stream, like, dying over like, yeah, that people do wanna see some people suffer, I guess.
Yep.
Well,
Some
Yep.
people just wanna watch the world burn.
Yep.
I've been recently playing Cuphead, and there was a
That's
boss
a
not
hard
too long
game,
ago
yeah.
Mhm.
in my last stream where I was on this boss for an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, trying to
Mhm.
beat it.
Yeah, it's a sense of accomplishment, though, like, it
Yeah.
takes a while, but then you finally are able to push through and beat it. Something that's, like,
Yep.
really great in video games and stuff is that sense, like, you didn't give up, you kept going. Like, in my video game playing experience, one of the hardest things that I think I ever had to do in a video game was on Final Fantasy X,
Mhm.
there's a chocobo race you have to do to get
Mhm.
Tidus's, legendary sword, and I
Mhm.
think it took me, like, 10 hours, like, nonstop, like, just doing the race over
Yeah.
and over again, and,
Well, then
like,
there's
yeah.
Go ahead.
My friend went to sleep because he was hanging out with me, like, we were doing, like, old school sleepover hangout buddy thing, and, like, he went to sleep, woke up in the morning, I was still doing the same exact chocobo race. He's like, "Did you ever go to bed?" I'm like, "No, man," like, I kept telling myself, like, "Oh, I'm gonna stop after this one," but then I'm like, "No, I'm gonna keep trying," and it's just that sense of accomplishment when I finally beat it and got the legendary weapon or whatever, it was worth it
Mhm.
all, like, it
Yep.
sucks when if you work that hard and the reward isn't really worth it, like, you didn't really get anything, like a
Yeah.
achievement or something. It's like, that's great and all, but this game, you actually got, like, the best sword in the game for the character, and it made the game way way easier after that.
Very nice. And it's good to see Rocco the Brave in the chat
Yes.
today. He does have a question. Longtime watcher, semi active chatter. Question for the guests. Now that Reigns of Power season 2 are coming out, sorry, will you be doing a live discussion about it or will you be doing the solo reviews?
I've been liking like the way I did Ahsoka, like just doing like an hour or two discussion about each episode because it's
Mhm.
gonna that seems like the best way to do it is just break it into episode by episode. Because I've noticed when I try to cover like a whole season, like I did with like the Orville or something, it kind of gets harder to like focus in and like
Mhm.
talk about specific episodes and like not be too long. But yeah, it's gonna go every episode for Rings of Power because that's a show it's so bad it's good like a car crash you can't look away from. It's like
Mhm.
I gotta see who's gonna limp out of the wreckage.
Mm.
And as you can see here, folks, ApyOn isn't just all about talking about movies and having discussion panels. He does a lot of gaming. It's something that you've seen here. Well, here's another channel. He has a different take on it. He has his own spin on it. And is that something that you've tried to find over time, your own way of doing things while you're on this platform?
Yeah, and with gaming, like you guys were saying, I need to talk more about stuff. Like sometimes I
Mhm.
get so
Mhm.
involved in the game and focused. I made a new word right now. I
You
get
did.
so in focused in a game where I just want to play it and like I especially like Mass Effect where I know everything that's gonna happen, so I'm just like, well, I'm gonna do this, and then this leads to this, but I'm not really giving any context to like the listeners. So that's something I need to work on with my gaming streams.
I think it's also amazing to me. A lot of people end up, of course, quitting streaming because there's such a long process. You need to interact with your chat. You need to be interesting. If you're doing, I feel like ApyOn, if you're doing the same thing over and over again in a game and stuff, you got to start talking about other things because you're just going to probably start boring people. You're
Yeah,
not trying to, but yeah,
that
it's good to.
Dadman Walken's really good with that when he plays, like, Fortnite, he's, like, talking about football or other things, so he's keeping the
Mhm.
conversation flowing, so it's
Yeah.
yeah, you're getting to watch him play a game, but then you're also getting a conversation, so it's like you're getting
Mhm.
a chat show stream as well as, like,
Yep.
something visual to watch the whole time as well, so that's yeah,
Yep.
something I need to work on for sure.
But it's just something that over time it'll come more naturally to you. You'll be able to,
Mhm.
talk about what's going on in the game, talk about different topics while you're playing the game. But I completely understand when you're focused on a part of the game where you go completely radio silent.
Yep.
Yeah,
And you
that
should
definitely happens.
tell the audience that, okay, I'm gonna stop talking here for a second because I've got to focus, and then I'll be back
Yeah.
to do it. What's also interesting too is I've even seen this on Twitch. You got a person who's got like 30K thousand followers. No, it's something like, yeah, it's like 30,000 followers, and he's only got 9 people watching ApyOn because he's not talking and he's playing Grand
Mhm.
Theft Auto 5 at the time. And it's like, okay, but you're not talking, dude. And then
Yeah.
you recommend to the guy, well, I say, it's your stream, man. Do what you want. And then the guy flips on you. Well, this has happened to me at least a few times. I go, what? So you don't want to watch this guy anymore. It's like you would have so many more viewers if you made this more interesting and stop letting the game dictate what you're doing. Like
Yeah.
it's all about entertainment. Like I was told on Twitch like 7 years ago, ApyOn, that it's all about making a TV show. It's all about making it as entertaining as possible. You're playing a game,
Right.
make it entertaining. You're doing a video, make it entertaining. And don't ever think that this is the best I can do. Always strive to do better. And of course, I don't think a lot of people have that attitude anymore, ApyOn, unfortunately. So.
Yeah. Get complacent or just think that what they have is perfect and it doesn't need to change or I think everybody like, nobody's perfect. Everyone should try to strive to
Exactly.
improve and make adjustments.
Hmm.
I don't know.
It's part of a channel's growth. It's part of the channel's evolution to see where
Mhm,
it started and where it currently is and what vision you have for your channel in the future.
mhm,
Not
mhm.
just on YouTube, but on any platform.
Yeah, and I don't want spoilers in the chat of video game plays when I'm playing a
No,
game I've never
man.
played before. You
Exactly.
can give
I
hints or whatever, that's fine,
Right.
but when you start spoiling the game, it's like, please don't do that.
But yep.
Ethel. Uh,
And I do want to say hello to Ethel, who does
Hello.
ask any plans for multiplayer with other YouTubers, ApyOn?
yeah, I'll probably play some more, Gears with Padawannabe. We played the first 2 Gears, and that
Nice.
went pretty well. We'll probably play some other things. I'm just kind of done playing Fortnite on my channel because I played that game to death, and I'm just kind of over it for now. As far as, like, streaming it and stuff too.
I
Mhm.
get that. You know, that's how I was with Star Trek Online. I used to play that game each and every day when I got off of work and got a few things done. And it just got to a point where I basically burned myself out of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And real quick, I do want to acknowledge
Glory to
something.
you and your house.
DJ Ronnie G with a 3 month member chat says it helps to have my good looks to offset the ugly aliens while I'm driving a pod racer. It also helps to have cool affiliations. The Pack 414.
Nice.
Thank you for that member chat, DJ Ronnie G.
Yeah, well,
And
congrats
just
on having memberships and, getting monetized and all that.
thank
That
you.
must be fun.
It is. I'll admit it's not something I've been pushing that hard. I haven't really been asking people to become a member, and I'm never gonna ask people, come on, give me a super chat. Come on, no, no, that's not how I work.
Yep.
The option's there if someone wants to become a member, but I'm not gonna force it upon them.
Yeah. It's like asking for a tip, you know what I mean? Like, if
Yeah,
the waiter did a good job, you leave a good
Mhm.
tip.
yeah.
Mhm.
Same with, like, a good entertainer or something. Like, if you're entertaining
Mhm.
and you feel like leaving a tip, that's great, but yeah, I'm not out here begging.
No, I'm still here to have fun, and
Yep.
couldn't you say that's one of the main drives you have to have if you're gonna create content on any streaming platform?
Yeah. Yeah, if you're not
Mhm.
having fun, on this, don't do it. If you're just trying to make money, I don't know. It doesn't seem like the right way to go about it.
No,
Mm.
I don't think so.
And Jet Spark says some things I can't afford to do right now, like get a capture card, get some crazy channel logos, and my channel avatar was made by a fellow YouTuber years ago who's growing in popularity.
Mm.
Well, sometimes you have to start off with the basics. Sometimes you just look at, Paint Shop and you try to
Mhm.
create something in there.
Mhm. Yep. Other programs you get once you can afford other stuff, but
Mhm.
I like you guys might laugh about this, but like when I finally learned how to do thumbnails on YouTube, it was a big day for me.
Oh, man. Canva Canva.com is
Oh
is what
man,
I use for all my thumbnails. It's so perfect.
nice.
Like, they have a setting when it's literally a YouTube thumbnail, so you literally just have to get the picture and put it in the little white area, and then it's, like, the perfect, dimensions for the yeah, like, the same thing, dude. When I discovered that, I'm like, "Oh, man, my
Dude,
thumbnail game is gonna be on point now. It's gonna
I
be
was
so much
like,
better."
I find a picture, I put in images, I put in text on like Photoshop, boom, done. I was like, this is awesome. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm so proud of myself, ApyOn, that I learned how to do thumbnails, man. Because I was like that I think that was holding me back um, from doing more content. Because I really wanted to know how to do that, and other people do. I'm like, oh, they got these cool thumbnails. How do you do this stuff? I said, okay, I got to learn how to do this, and so I did, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, because it is, I, I'll I'll admit it, it is a little bit of envy when you see someone else is thumbnail how they did theirs, and then you look at yours, and you go, mine looks like crap.
Mm-hmm. Gotta step my game up.
Mm-hmm. But one of the things you do on your channel, and you do these streams with Rocco the Brave, is two guys talking. How did that come about?
We were just making videos before that started, like little chats where we would just talk about like Superman, the movie, and things like that. And then we were trying to come up with like a name for like a two-man show. And then I was just like thinking about a How I Met Your Mother episode when like Barney and Ted are talking, and then Barney's just like, "We're just two guys talking. We're just two guys talking," and like that's kind of what gave the idea for the name. And we've had a lot of really good. That's like, well, like probably out of all my live streams, definitely my most successful as far as like gaining subscribers and stuff. Like I think one of them got me like almost 200 subs in like 24 hours or something. I can't remember which one we did, but yeah, definitely like the best
Nice.
live stream I ever put out was definitely one of the two guys talking with Rocco the Brave, and they've been a lot of fun. Like I still haven't changed the Back to the Future one because that one was just so much fun and it did quite well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But yeah, it's
I can
just so
see
fun to
that.
talk about favorite movies and give me a reason to go back and rewatch them and have them be fresh in my mind for a conversation. Yeah.
And one of your favorite movies, and we did a watch party for it back in June, was The Fifth Element.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Both yeah. ApyOn and Jet Sparks were quoting the lines before. I was like,
Yeah, I needed to stop doing that, especially for people that haven't seen that. I have that it's such a bad habit that I do in real life too. My mom would hate me for that. Whenever I'd show her a movie that like she hadn't seen before, but I'd seen, I'd just be sitting there talking. She's like, "Be quiet! I haven't seen this. I know you know the movie, but let me hear the lines from the actors and the people in the movie first."
it was
Like, oh
just
yeah,
funny. I was like, I said, guys, I haven't seen all this movie, but I know you guys probably watched it like over 10 times
100 times.
or
Actually, I don't
more.
even know.
And Ethel has a question for all three of us. What streaming software is best for
Ooh.
streaming games?
Well, you go first, Mike.
I'm going to let our guests go first.
I use OBS with my capture card. That's what I end up using. I mean, I've seen that you could like screen share on StreamYard and stuff, but then I don't know. It seems like it lags a little bit more, and I just rather have it on OBS. But the problem with OBS, I guess, is you can't like put the text, like the chat on the screen, and you can't put like your avatar and all that stuff. You can't like dress it up, which I guess is a problem if you want to like, look more original and have. I just don't know. I just don't want to have the chat on the screen while I'm playing because that would be so distracting for me. Like trying to play a game and then there's like chats coming in. I don't know.
Yep.
I'd rather like play a part of the game when there's like a moment I can look at the chat. I just for me having the chat constantly on screen while I'm playing just doesn't really gel with me. But
Yeah, because not everybody is streaming on their PC while they're playing the game. They're streaming on a console. You may be using your PC to send the signal, but not everybody has two monitors. Some people only have one monitor, and so their other monitor that they might be looking at is their phone just to see what the chat is saying.
Yep.
And that's right. You're making a good point. Like if I'm playing on the TV, the chat blocks would only be on the computer version, so I guess it wouldn't really be interrupting my console play. So I guess I should probably eventually get around to doing that. But yeah, I always just use OBS. That's what I use.
Yeah, I like OBS too. No.
I've used OBS. I got nothing against OBS, but I've also used Slobs, and that seems to be the one I primarily use.
What's it called?
Slobs, Streamlabs OBS.
Oh, okay.
Because one of the things I do like about Slobs is if you do decide to go for their premium membership, it not only gives you free overlays that you can use for your streams, but it also gives you access to the premium of Talk Studio, which is their alternative to StreamYard. So, somebody doesn't like StreamYard for whatever reason it may be, they at least have an alternative.
I bought the year of StreamYard Premium, so I'm all in for a few more months at least on StreamYard.
Yeah.
They got me. It wasn't too expensive for 12 months though. I'm like, that's I'll probably use it enough for that.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. All of us who use StreamYard, you know, any version of StreamYard as far as the plan is concerned, we get the benefit of having panels where we can have a multitude of guests.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can get chaotic. I'm not going to say it can't, because it can, but it can also be a lot of fun.
Mhm.
And one of the things I know that you have done on a regular basis, whether it's on your channel or on his channel, is you've done Saving Star Trek with Admiral Teague.
Yeah, we've been doing that for a while now. He's had me on his show there, and it's been fun. He doesn't always cover Star Trek, so we have fun covering like the Orville or watching some other stuff every now and again, a movie.
And this leads to my next question is, do you enjoy doing collaborations with other creators?
For the most part, there's been some where I've tried it out and I'm just like, okay, I tried it. This isn't my fit, and you know, don't really come back. But you guys, I like for sure. Like you guys are definitely on the list of creators I like. And yeah, there's channels I like to work with. Raquel SSG, I like going on her show. She's a good host and a good YouTuber, and
Mhm.
Dadman and Teague. So yeah, there's a few people that I like to go on their channels. Sure.
Very
Mm.
nice. And I do want to say hello to Kathy Skywalker. She calls herself Gotham Cat now.
Okay.
So when it comes to picking a topic, say a movie that you want to discuss, does it have to be a movie that you've previously enjoyed, or is it a movie that you've recently heard about and watched for yourself? What's the criteria?
Usually for me and Rocco with you guys talking, it's something that we both watch and like, and then we had like a joint notepad that we can both go in and edit on like our phones. So it's like I'll write down a whole list of like movies I'd want to eventually talk about. Like we have like a whole list of franchises and things we might want to get to, and then if he doesn't want to do it, or if I don't want to do the specific movie, then we don't do it. Yeah, that's right. We did use Streamlab OBS for Blender Live before. I think that's before we got onto StreamYard. But yeah, like usually if we both like the movie, then that's the one that we tackle like quickest. Like Back to the Future trilogy, we both loved all those movies, so that one was really easy. The Mummy trilogy. Just I try to find something that we both like, or when I do a stream with like Pato Wannabe, like if he hasn't seen the movie or if I haven't seen the movie, we'll try to go watch that like homework and then come back and then talk about it then. But it's usually it's that Pat I wanna be. Yeah, it's usually like, something that I like or 'cause I try not to do so much things I dislike 'cause I don't wanna just have a channel where I'm just bitching about something the whole time. I save that for like She-Hulk or Rings of Power or something like
Mhm.
that. But yeah, usually it's movies that I love from like my childhood and beyond. Like The Sandlot just had like a 30-year anniversary this year, so Pat I Wannabe brought that to my attention and I'm like, "Oh, I love The Sandlot. Grew up with that movie. Great film. I'll rewatch it and then we'll talk about that."
And that's what's great is, trying to find a movie that you can both talk about, whether, as you're saying, you have to watch it for the first time for yourself and give your thoughts on it, or it's just a movie that sticks with you, like The Sandlot or Back to the Future. Having those specific topic streams can, open other people's minds to watching that movie or TV show.
Yeah. Like Rocco's making a good point. Like, yeah, he told me about the Superman and Lois show that I had never watched because he watched it. And then once I watched the show, that's when we did a two guys talking on that. So yeah,
Mhm.
he definitely recommended that. Yeah, we take turns recommending things and trying to like, expand the pop culture and things that we see and we like. But
Very
for
cool.
movies and stuff that are new that I've never seen, I used to, but don't do it as much anymore. I used to make like short videos on my channel that are like 5-minute quick reviews, where I would just quickly give my thoughts on like a movie that I just saw in theaters or something like this, like Super Mario Brothers. When I saw that
Mhm.
in theaters, I made like a quick little 5-minute video with the trailer on a loop or whatever, and then just my thoughts on it for a couple minutes.
Well, speaking of trailers, did you see the latest one that dropped today?
The Ghostbusters one? Oh yeah.
Yes.
Who you gonna
Yes.
call? It looks good. Like,
Yeah,
I
it
mean, I'm
does. It does.
I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan, and yeah, that's definitely gonna be on our Two Guys Talking eventually. Is the Ghostbusters, not the 2016 one because that doesn't deserve to be mentioned too much, but the original two with the gang, and then maybe even
Mhm.
Afterlife in there. But yeah, I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan. I liked Afterlife a lot. I thought it was good.
I enjoyed it. It was, one of those movies I was a little hesitant when I was going to the theater because had seen 2016 and I didn't care for it. But what I saw, I enjoyed.
Hmm.
It was nice to see Bill Murray, Ernie Hudson, and Dan Aykroyd back as well, but also passing it on to a new generation.
Yeah, and they had like the granddaughter of uh, what's Harold Ramis's character name again? Venkman?
Egon.
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 Okay, yeah. Venkman is Bill Murray. That's right.
Yeah,
Egon.
yeah, yeah.
Here I am saying I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan. I don't even know their names.
Don't worry about it, brother.
I
As much
just
Star Trek as I know,
Oh
some
man.
episodes it's like, wait a minute, I got to stop and think. Was that DS9? Was that Next Gen? Was it the original series? And then thinking of the episode names because there's 735 episodes in total of Star Trek from 66 to 2005. So you do have to pause and think.
Man, and big
I
props to anyone who's seen all the Star Trek stuff because that is so much knowledge to have in your head. So many different
man.
movies and different lores and, all these things.
Well,
It's
I
it's
still
insane.
say I don't 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't care about 5, 6. All those movies for me are
Cash,
still
wait,
memorable.
wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. You,
Mhm,
you, you don't care about 5?
mhm.
Excuse me, I'd just like to ask a question. What does God need with a starship?
Yeah.
But I gotta tell you guys, when it comes to like stuff like Ghostbusters or like when even Top Gun came back, I was like, ugh, it is. But when I was surprised, I really was to hear that so many people enjoyed Afterlife. So, and I think you probably need to watch Afterlife before you watch this film. Don't they connect?
Yes, they
Isn't
do.
that the whole point? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Paul Rudd's back and the
So
granddaughter's
maybe I'll
back.
finally watch. There's just I'm sure you guys have this too. There's just some movies, and then when they come back, you're like, "Am I happy about this?" It's like when what was it, Total Recall and stuff, and they're like, "Hey, Total Recall is coming back." I'm like, why? Oh, it's going to be PG-13. Why? Why
Are
are
you
we
talking
doing
about
this?
the one where they go to the center of the earth with,
That was the
Colin
one with
Farrell? Yeah,
yeah, yeah, Colin Farrell. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's like
But
you took such a cool concept of going to the moon and
yes,
stuff, and then you just
yes.
made it on Earth. Like,
Well,
are
this
you
these
changing it like that?
if we're gonna remake this for what it because we're Hollywood is so lazy, as you guys know, usually that it's like, can you make it at least rated R? Can you leave it rated R? Like it has to stay rated R. PG-13. Oh, we want a bigger audience, fine, but leave it rated R,
Yeah,
or just don't make it. That's always an option too. But it with this Ghostbusters, this is like a continuation, like Afterlife, as far as what I've read and some of the things I've seen is a continuation. It's not really a reboot. It's definitely a continuation of what they did before. Isn't that
yeah, it's
a good
kinda
way
like a
to
s
put it?
a
Yeah.
spiritual successor, technically not the 3rd Ghostbusters, but it kind of is.
Uh,
Yeah, because it definitely takes place in the same universe because 'cause they're all older Ghostbusters now, and then you have the granddaughter, and so it is taking the original not like the 2016 one where they kind of just took their own thing and threw
yeah.
some cameos of the people that you recognize. Freaking Bill Murray as the skeptic,
I
and then he
just-
falls out a window and dies. Like, what the heck?
you watched the 2016 one?
Yeah, I sat through it because
You did?
I heard
Wow.
people talk about it, but I wanted to make my own
Uh,
opinion. So I'm
you
like, I'll
wanted your
sit
own
through this.
opinions. That's
Yeah,
how
I'll
Mike
sit
and I
through.
feel too. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, don't go see Dial of Destiny, for example. Don't go see that. It's just, I said, I'll make up my own mind. And
Yeah,
both
and that
Mike and I did not really like it very much.
yeah,
I like
like,
the
that's one of
first
those movies
15,
that
20 minutes, and
Yeah.
then after that,
Just
Oh, Dial of Destiny?
yeah.
I got a lot of
Yeah,
problems with that film.
yeah. People tell me Antonio Banderas was in it, I'm like, "When?"
He
Oh,
was.
for
He
5
was
seconds.
wasted in that
Blink and you'll
too.
miss it. Cameo.
Mhm. And I do want to say hello to Dempsey, the drunken
Hello,
poet.
Dempsey.
Good to see you, brother.
But I guess I should probably finally watch Afterlife. It's been over a few years now, so
It's been over a year, Cash.
yeah.
It's
I
not a bad
just
movie, and it's not
no.
as good as the original, obviously, but it's a lot
Right.
more respectful to them.
That's what I've been hearing. It's just, I mean, Top Gun Maverick surprised me, so maybe Afterlife will surprise me just as much. So.
Yeah, Top Gun, Star Wars with the trench run.
But it
Well,
worked for that movie.
yeah,
It did.
Maverick was good. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
and, like, it was cool because I watched the original, like, that morning, and then I watched Maverick
Nice.
right after, and, like, the way that both movies start exactly the same was so cool to see, like, they
Mhm.
literally, like, 30 years later, but they still, like, beat for beat made the exact same introduction and beginning with the song and the whole setup on the, aircraft carrier and everything.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely.
And when it comes to entertainment, what does the entertainment have to provide for you in order for you to actually give it a chance?
I want good characters, good story, invoke some sort of emotional response, and give me escapism. I don't like it to, like, reflect the real world too much in the things I'm watching. If I wanna see the real world, I'll go outside and I'll see it, or I'll put on the news or something.
Well, they're not. You guys are such a big fan, and I have of the Fifth Element, and they wouldn't have the balls nowadays, I don't think, to make a movie like that. And I think it's really sad. I really do. If it's not shows or movies where they could make great sci-fi again, but they refuse to. And what they do make is usually half-baked kind of. I don't know when even the last time, and we've talked about this before, there was like a really good sci-fi show on, or even a really good sci-fi movie. Can you guys name one in the last, I don't know, 10 years or so?
Hmm. A good sci-fi movie, like, not in the MCU or any of these
Right.
things, like, its
Nothing
own
related to Star
standalone.
Trek. Right. Right. Yep.
Man.
I I've got nothing, Cash.
Yeah.
I know
That's
that
how I
that
feel too.
The Creator or whatever came out, but I haven't seen that, and I've heard
Yes,
mixed
I did
things
hear
about
some good
that.
things about that. Yeah, I haven't watched that either. So yeah, that's true. That did come out. So
But yeah, like you were saying, like, The Fifth Element, like, if they made it today, the power of love would not be what saves the
no,
universe. She would do
no.
it all on her own, and
Right.
Corbin Dallas would just be, like, you know,
Yep.
standing
You
off to
did
the side, like,
you did
"You
a good
can go,
job, lady. Yeah.
cheerleader." Yeah, he'd have,
Yeah.
like,
I can't
pom-poms,
touch
like
you, right? Oh, okay. I
yeah.
better not touch
Oh,
you.
yeah, that scene where he kisses her, oh, yeah,
Yes.
that ain't happening.
No, that's not happening.
And over on Rumble, I do want to say hello to Aval and
Oh,
also Storm Crow Gaming. Welcome.
nice. Hello. Yeah. Yeah, it's really unfortunate. There's just a lot of ideas that they could do and they could put money into, but they just refuse to, and they're so bent on their agendas or other things and just reboots and rehashes and this and that. It's like some things you really should never rehash. Like, why did Clash of the Titans ever need to be come back? Why? And then people will say, oh, the second one is like more like the first one. Yeah, but why did it need to come back? Why do we need two Hellboy films reboots? We had two. Why do we need so much more? Why did Conan need to come back and be rebooted? Why couldn't we just continue if they're going to do that thing? They just, Hollywood is mostly still lost, and we'll see what happens.
I mean, they're remaking Mean Girls, for God's sake.
That was a good movie. I don't care what anyone says. It was a funny movie.
Yeah.
Tina Fey was even good in it. Tina Fey was
Mhm.
also good in Megamind in the role. Like, she can be good in things, surprisingly.
Yeah.
But even though I would say she's a nutcase for the most part, because I try not to pay much attention to Tina Fey, but
Well, apparently
she's been
she
good in
was
some
involved
things.
in this remake
Yeah.
too. So it's gonna be a musical and like
Oh, good. A musical of Mean Girls? No.
yeah.
Why not just make it a sequel to the original?
Yes, a sequel I think would be better. Yes.
That would have been so much more clever. You have like then you
Yeah.
have like the girls from the original being like the parents
Mm-hmm.
of
Well, I
a
like
new
that. Yeah.
group and like so
Mm-hmm. I like that. That
Heck,
would be
you,
cool.
you don't even have to put it in the high school setting. You could still have the same characters, but they're experiencing the Mean Girl mentality as adults.
Yeah. They don't ApyOn, and I'm sure you notice this, they don't even seem to understand female characters anymore. It doesn't matter if there's been female leads. What are you guys doing? Like, you had Agent Carter. She's a strong female. She doesn't need to say it. And she's cunning, she's interesting, she has a love interest, all this cool stuff, and then they go away from it. And so now they just do other stereotypes with it. Well, she has to be strong. She has to be a minority. She has to be this. She has to be that. Like, it doesn't matter if she's a minority or whatever, but where is the building steps? And I can't stop talking about this because I don't understand where is the steps of these characters. You know, if you write something down, you should have a development. I want this character to be a female. Okay, well, what does she do? What is her job? Does she love somebody? Did somebody die? Like, where are all these questions? And it
no
seems
that
like you ask them and they go,
yeah.
well, what, you don't like it? You're blah, 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 blah. How does that help anybody?
They're playing the
You know,
game on New Game Plus. Like
that's right.
they come out level 100 like oh, I
Yes,
already
they
did all
do.
the I already did all the
Yeah,
side quests and stuff.
that's right.
I'm max level.
That's
Like,
right.
oh, so your character doesn't need to grow anymore. You're just here
Yep.
to,
Yep.
take down the noobs, the level 1 enemies. It's like, yep.
Exactly. Yep.
But I'd rather see a character go through the
Yes.
growing pains, their
Mhm.
trials, their tribulations, and
Like Ripley's such a good example about that. Like
Yes.
she
Yes.
starts off as just like,
Mhm.
just like an officer on the ship. She's not really a badass or anything, but she's good at her job. But then
Right.
like over the course of the movie, she becomes this hardened
Mhm.
survivor, gone through some shit, seen many people she cares about die, experienced damage herself and loss and
Mhm.
everything. Like she didn't just win right off the bat. Like that was good game, folks. That was easy. All right,
Mhm.
pack it in. We're going home.
Yep.
Did you get any scratches on you? Nope.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, exactly. It did.
No.
Yep.
Or a better example would be Sarah Connor. She was a
Yes.
waitress, and then she
Yes.
becomes like this super badass,
Yep.
super
Great character.
swole.
Yep.
You knows how to
Quality
use guns
TV
hand to
show
hand.
too. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, they just kept building on that. Even with the TV show, they kept building on the Sarah Connor Chronicles. Like, they just connected things so well. Like, that's another thing. We can connect this stuff. And people either are afraid to, or they can't do this or whatever. It's like, even somebody has said, like, what if it wasn't called Rings of Power, for example? It was called something else. Would people enjoy it more? Probably, because it wasn't connected to Tolkien. And
Mhm.
it's missed opportunities. It's the same with Willow. If I'm working on a Willow show, it's going to connect to the movie. I don't care what people think. It's going to connect to the movie because it just makes sense to me. It's got to connect. Can't go off on all these other different directions. It's got to connect to the film.
Man, Disney straight up buried that show. They were so embarrassed with it. They like tried to delete it from the archives.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
And Warwick Davis is like, where's my show?
Yeah.
It may not be the best show in the world, but I'm proud of it. They're like, yeah, we weren't. Gotta go.
Mhm.
yep. And I do want to say hello to Killy Chow, Roll Tide, Killy Chow, Roll Tide.
What's
And
up?
he asks, what's going on? Tonight we are talking to fellow content creator ApyOn, and he's talking about his channel, talking about what he likes in pop culture and some of his hobbies too.
Yeah. Hello, Kiwi Chow. I've seen you on the channel a few times. Always good to see you. Yeah. Yeah, Dempsey says too, Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street was amazing, strong, and resourceful. Yeah, like
Yes.
Laura Stroud from Halloween.
Yes.
Yeah, horror movies have a lot of strong female characters. Even like Friday the 13th, even though they don't consistently keep a lot of the same girls, like the girl in like the second one or the third one, the one that puts on the sweater and like learns about Jason and fights Jason, like she was a great female character. Even the fourth one with Corey Feldman and his sister is like a super sister that wants to save the brother, and she's she's not like invincible, but she's a good character. Yeah, that it's been done many times throughout the
Oh yeah.
last few decades, but they pretend like those never happened.
Mhm.
They're like, "Oh yeah, we invented it. We're pioneers." Jennifer Lawrence, she's the first ever action star in
That's right. Remember,
Hunger Games.
Jennifer Lawrence, the first star of I Love Lucy. She was the first Ethel, believe it or
Yeah.
not. Yes. Jennifer Lawrence was the first Ethel.
Man, that was one of the funniest things on the internet, and just watching everybody roast her and like make their own videos, like just listing off like hundreds of female characters throughout the ages.
Yep.
Yep. Celine from Underworld, easily.
Mhm.
Easily. Oh, Mia Jovovich in every like Resident Evil movies.
Yeah,
Fifth
I mean,
Element,
she was definitely one of the better things about that, though.
Yeah.
Not excited about the direction they went after the first one, but it's all right. They went in
No,
more
but
of
it seems
action
like
direction. It did make money, though. Yeah.
every movie that Mila is in now, after The Fifth Element, is pretty much the same movie over and over again.
I haven't seen a movie with her in a long time.
Did you ever see Monster Hunters? You did like
No.
based on the game?
I didn't watch that. Did you watch it? You did.
Yeah, it wasn't like the
Did you
worst
kinda
movie in
like
the
it?
world.
Was
Yeah, it
was
wasn't the worst
decent?
movie in the world. It could have been better, but I mean, it was a Monster Hunter movie, and I think it was like the same director of Resident Evil and shit. I think her husband or whatever, but it was all right.
Yeah.
And Ethel does say, "Will not forgive Linda Hamilton for
Oh yeah,
the last
Dark
one she
Fate.
did." Yeah,
Oh
Dark
man,
Fate. Oh,
man,
I have not watched that one. I hear Genesis I should watch, though. I hear that's good, but
yeah, Genesis doesn't do damage to the whole franchise as much as Dark Fates. Dark Fates did to Judgment Day what Aliens 3 did to Aliens. Like, all that struggle they survived, yeah, that meant nothing.
Yeah. Well, it's
Just
also
erased it.
like yeah. Yeah, yeah, Alien to me it's just I didn't hate movies like Prometheus, but it'll never be the same to me as Alien and Aliens. Those movies are great.
The coolest thing in
Especially the
Prometheus is when she
original.
operated on herself and like did the operation to like get the alien out of her stomach. Like that was some epic shit. Like that had never been done, and it was very Ripley like. Like she just had to like operate on herself. I thought that scene was wild, but other than that, I don't. Yeah, especially Alien Covenant, man.
Yeah.
Man, that movie.
Have I watched Covenant? I can't remember. We watched one in high school.
Danny McBride's in it, and there's a bunch of couples.
What was the one Joss Whedon worked on? I think he wrote. Was that Covenant, or is that the third Aliens movie? Is Covenant the third one, or is it? No, I must be thinking of a different one.
Well, it
was
Alien,
one Joss
Aliens.
Whedon wrote.
Was it Alien Resurrection?
It might have been Resurrection.
Might have been Resurrection.
Is that one?
I seem to think it was Resurrection. I could be wrong.
That's the one with Ron Perlman and Winona Ryder, and she's the.
Is that the one where a bunch of Marines in that die? If I remember, to the aliens. I can't. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie, but I think
Space Marines are really only in the second one, Aliens by James Cameron.
Okay.
And then they kind of have like they're like space pirates in Alien Resurrections. That's the one with Ron Perlman and like Ripley is like they resurrected.
Because I remember there was the
she
scene
has
where
acid blood.
was it Resurrection? It was one of them. I think Joss Whedon wrote this one, but a lot of Marines I remember in a scene died. It's just been a long time since I've seen this Alien film, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, he did Resurrection. I'm seeing his name attached.
Okay, so yeah, maybe that's the one. There was a scene I think where a bunch of Marines died to aliens because they're fighting the war, of course. I think it was that. I'd have to check.
Yeah, that
It was
one's
the one where
weird,
the
man.
guy
Like
had. Oh, okay.
Ripley has
That
an
was
alien baby, and it's like thinks of
Mhm.
her as like its mama, and yeah, she's got alien blood, and
They go overboard with this stuff. You know, one movie, if they would really care enough about it, I'm not sure they would, but if we could get an actual Green Lantern live action movie that I would enjoy, that would be nice. But
yeah.
the Ryan Reynolds one was, it was there.
Yeah. So
yeah,
there's gonna be
It
a
was there. It
there's
was
gonna be
there.
a Green Lantern in the Superman Legacy movie by James Gunn. It's gonna be
Oh.
Nathan Fillion. He's gonna be Guy Gardner.
I could see that.
So we're not gonna get like a
But
Green
we
Lantern
don't
movie
get
by
Hal
himself,
Jordan.
but yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool though, APN, if we could get Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart and they work together?
Yeah.
And not just in an animated form, but actually live action.
Yeah, maybe they'll do like the Lantern Corps or something.
But who would you have play Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart?
Could Nathan Fillion play a Hal Jordan? Yeah, he probably could.
I mean, he's gonna be Guy Gardner already, so
Yeah,
he'd be
I know,
doing
that
two
would-
different. I mean, he definitely could though. That guy's super talented.
Yeah. What's your favorite Looney Tunes character?
that is a question from, and forgive me if I mispronounce the name, Kudimak.
Is that
Man?
Kudimak?
Bugs Bunny or Tasmanian Devil?
Oh, those are great ones. Bugs Bunny. I don't know, dude. There's so many great characters in Looney Tunes.
There really is.
It's a very random question, but I liked it. I like it.
Yeah. Keep us on our toes. Keep us ready.
I don't know. Like Pepe Le Pew. There's a lot of great characters.
Oh,
like
Pepe Le Pew got
Sam
canceled these days. Yeah.
Marvin the Martian.
Marvin the Martian, man. Like even Speedy
Speedy
Gonzalez. They try to cancel. No, man.
Oh yeah, poor Speedy.
Please, dude. He's an icon to people. Like, are we kidding?
Arriba.
Elmer Fudd.
Oh yeah.
Elmer Fudd's a great character. Like there's Porky Pig's a great character. I mean, there were even great characters in the
Tweety Bird,
Tiny
even.
Toon Adventures,
Sylvester
man.
and
Like
Tweety
they were
Bird?
just
Yeah.
they were on it, dude, in the 90s, man. They were just all over these great characters.
Foghorn Leghorn.
Oh, he's still a great character. And the dog. Oh, I can't remember. Did the dog have
You're doing it all wrong, boy. You're doing it all wrong. Let me show you how it's done.
Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner? I mean, these are all.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
Did you ever feel bad for Wiley and like just wanted to like to let him get something to eat? The poor guy was starving, and that it's just pick something else to. I guess you're in a desert. There's not many options to eat, but man, all that
come
money
on,
he spends on Acme
he's a super
stuff.
genius.
That'd
But he
be a
can't
funny,
get
like-
himself food.
Oh, man.
That'd be a funny commercial nowadays. Like the money he spends on the Acme stuff, like he like
Dude.
instead like uses DoorDash and like just orders some food.
I wish I could walk off a cliff for a second and then come back on the cliff.
Right? Hold a sign. Ouch! This is gonna hurt real bad.
Oh man, yes.
But man, whenever I think of Looney Tunes, I think of one of the greatest movies that has them is Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I mean,
yeah,
God,
it's
that
so
movie.
dark,
Great movie.
man.
Great
like
movie.
So dark when that shoe gets dipped
when
in the.
they
in,
kill.
oh, man.
Yeah, go ahead,
shoe.
man.
No, you go ahead. Like when they dip the shoe.
Oh man, the killing of Toons is so dark. It's that movie is so underrated. It's so freaking good.
Christopher Lloyd as
Yes.
Judge Doom.
Judge Doom.
Great.
Remember me, Eddie?
Yeah.
When I killed your brother, I talk just like this.
So good.
It was just dark, and they would never. And that was under Disney too, because that's Touchstone. They would never do that movie again, and they're still trying to cancel the redheaded woman. You know?
Yeah, Jessica Rabbit.
Yes, they're still trying to cancel that woman. No.
Remember, folks, when it comes to Jessica Rabbit, she's not bad. She's just drawn that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
She even makes the joke like at her creators. It's so good, like the meta joke. And that movie was just so amazing, like all the practical effects and like how much hard work they put into like mixing
dude,
everything. And
so many people cared. If you get some of those people again at Disney, and maybe there still are some of them then we'll start getting better stuff. But you've got to have the people that start caring to say, you know what, why don't we make something Roger Rabbit says, oh, that's offensive. And somebody says, I don't give a shit. Let's do it anyways. I don't care. Yeah.
Yeah, I can remember after that movie came out, everybody's doing their Roger Rabbit impression.
Yeah. Pictures are it didn't happen, Dempsey. Come on, man.
Not to toot his own horn, but his wife looks like Jessica Rabbit. Well, good on you.
Yes.
Well done.
I salute you, sir.
Yes. We'll believe you, Dempsey. You don't seem like a liar, so.
Mission complete.
And there's just one clip I'm gonna play because Baron would play it if he were here.
The hell you say?
That's great.
Yeah, who framed Roger Rabbit as a horror flick?
Yeah.
It is in some places, like you were talking about. It's super dark. Like the
Mhm.
whole thought of killing unkillable cartoons is pretty dark.
It is. That's very dark, man, because usually nobody would go in that direction. That was I'm sure that was a very risky film when they decided to do it. Well, good for them. That's what we need. I want the risk, and then if they fail, build something else from it or parts of it.
But see, that's when Disney under Iger was willing to take risks. Okay, we can't put this film under the Disney brand per se,
Right.
but we can release it under Touchstone Pictures.
Yeah,
Right.
Disney adjacent.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Which is smart. That was smart. So, and if they really are serious about changing a lot of their TV shows and not going in this whole agenda thing, then do it. Just do it. That's it. You know, even Looney Tunes with Warner Brothers, they tried to change it. And they're like, no, Elmer Fudd needs to have his guns again. Of course he does. Or Yosemite Sam. He needs to have his guns. Stop changing these things. We've got to cancel Pepe Le Pew. Oh, somebody in the White House even said that. Give me a break, man. Come on. Pepe Le Pew scares you? Oh, you know, he does that stuff.
He's a
Do
cartoon
you guys
skunk.
watch what happens with the cat? The cat gets in the paint. Pepe Le Pew thinks it's a skunk. It's not hard to put the two together.
Well, for some people, it is, Cash. It's hard to use that brain power.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, it is. I agree.
Disney should have done like Disney After Dark, where they have like their own Adult Swim type stuff, and then they can just some creators can just have more fun and not be worried about offending people. Because Adult Swim has some wildly offensive, not just nonsensical stuff, but it's fun. Yeah, they're just having fun over there. You know what I mean? And that's
yeah, but I'm not sure how to feel about Rick and Morty lately after
Oh,
Justin.
I'm done. I watched Solar Opposites without him, and it was so different. And I'm like, yeah, this isn't as funny.
It's not the same. You don't hear the burping from Rick. You don't hear the more sarcasm from Rick because this actor they hire, he's just kind of wooden. And then people are like, oh, he can grow into the character. Yeah, but the whole Justin Roiland thing is a nightmare. So that what they did to him, what he's found innocent, he was actually found innocent. It's a mess. It's just a mess.
Yep, and they took 2 of his shows away. Like,
yeah,
I can't forgive him for that.
Right, he had another show too.
Yeah, Solar Opposites. That's the one I watched too. Where that one came out earlier, and I was watching it with my buddy, and I'm like, did they replace Justin Roiland like from the show? And I'm like, I thought that was just Rick and Morty. And then we checked the credits, and like he's not in there. I'm like, damn, they took both of his like his brainchild, his babies away from him. Like, dude got screwed so hard by that company. Like he needs to just go off and make a new company or something, and people will go listen to him. You know what I mean? Like, I will.
Right. And if you want to replace somebody, you're so gung ho about replacing somebody. I don't care. Black thing. They think they're a helicopter. I don't care. Just
think they're a helicopter.
Just
they have one of those little hats with the propellers on it.
Right, that's right.
I can fly.
Oh my god. Just make sure it sounds enough like the character or very, very close to it. Because what they do is they replace it with other actors like they did with The Simpsons and some people. Carl, it's like, this doesn't sound the same. Dr. Hibbert, this doesn't sound the same. And then, they throw in people like Kerry Washington. It's like, if you're going to replace a character like Krabappel, you've got to find somebody with that same personality.
Yeah.
That's why one of her reasons her character was so great. So It's really unfortunate that these things happen. It's like, oh, you would, and then the people say you don't want to replace it with this minority. That. No, that's not the point. I want the character to sound just like the other character that I'm replacing it with, as close as possible.
Exactly.
And then we lost Apu and stuff. Like, it's really unfortunate right now. Simpsons, especially after the last Treehouse of Horror that I watched, Simpsons, if it goes away, it's okay. Now, Family Guy is just a train wreck. So you're just watching. Is it going to get a little better? Is it going to get a little worse? Is it going to get even worse than this? Is it going to get a little better?
Because Seth focuses on the Orville now. He's not even really that much involved with Family Guy anymore.
Probably not. But he must come in there for a paycheck, or I think there's still episodes in the can because, of course, he ended the show after the strike, the last writer's strike. So I don't know how many more episodes they want to do, but I think the Orville, as far as I know, is still dead. Like, it was 3 seasons? Is that right? I think Orville went on 3 seasons.
3 seasons.
Yeah.
Man, I want that 4th season though.
Well, you guys going to get that 4th? Maybe you will. Maybe you will.
Hulu's been renewing shows. They renewed like The Bear and a couple other Hulu shows, Futurama. So if Hulu's making the rounds, they need to do the Orville, because there's so many people on Twitter and stuff that are like hardcore Orville fans and just begging for it to come back.
Okay.
And it's a really great sci-fi show, really, really good, and it does handle some modern ideas, but in a good way. Like, the way it's handled is creative. I know that's hard to imagine these days, but it's
That's right. They do, Rocco.
Very rare. Oh yeah, that's
rare.
Apologizing for Aladdin. Yeah, good Lord, one of your most successful.
Oh.
They've got people bashing Snow White. Yeah, it's
censoring movies that came out before today's modern audience. I put that in quotes.
Yeah.
I mean, can anybody remember? Can you remember ApyOn when you're growing up and you ask your parents, why is it depicted this way in the movie, and your parents actually explain to you why it's done a certain way?
Man, just ridiculous. Then we have them live. They're just running through all their live action. Like, they're gonna do like Frozen now, and it's just like,
oh god, there doesn't need to be a live action of Frozen. What are they gonna do?
Bankrupt.
Yeah, they really are, man.
Frozen
They're
was
like,
successful.
this will make money. This will make money. No.
Just because it made money as an animated film doesn't mean it's going to translate well in live action, even with the CG.
It's just, you have to still follow what the cartoon did. Like, they did a live action Lion King, they changed things. They did a live action Lady and the Tramp. They started changing things, taking things out. They don't like the Siamese cats, things like that. It's racist. It's this. It's racist. Whatever. It just it doesn't. It's silly. This is all part. Those are Siamese cats. They're not. The fact is, they're offensive because they're not good. They're scoundrels.
And
the cats. Yes.
The fact that in The Simpsons they're removing anything nowadays, at least, of Homer choking Bart, that's been a gag since 1989 for the show. And if your kids can't separate a cartoon from actual reality, well, that's on you as a parent.
Yes, it is.
Yep. And they are literally like, they're yellow people with like, they're not
4
not
fingers.
Real. They made them not look like normal people for a reason, I'm pretty sure, like, so that you could separate this from the real world. Like, it's not a real domestic violence case where the dad's choking the son, you know what I mean? Like, this is a make-believe, it's a running gag, like you were saying. It's a joke that's a part of the show's history.
Yep. Oh, but people have been saying it's all the brutality. It's this. It's like, that's just what you want to see. It's just like this stupid fan fiction. Like, Star Wars has to be like this, and this has to be like this because I wrote this fanfic. Well, maybe your fan fiction is shit. Oh, how dare you say that? Well, maybe it is. It's just like people writing fan fiction. They want to change Zelda or Link, their sexuality and all this. It's stupid. No.
Well, speaking of
Link is
Zelda, we're going to be
hero.
getting a live action Zelda. Do you think that's a good direction to go, or do you think they should have gone the animated route like they did with the Mario Brothers
Well,
movie?
Nintendo's involved in it, so that's important. But they need to be careful. That's all. They have to. They can't do certain things that they did in the game. So, yeah.
And we do have another question, and it's about South Park joining the Pandaverse. What's your review, ApyOn?
I love that special. It was 50 minutes of good comedy.
Yes.
The A and B plot, I love how they connect. You've got the A plot with Cartman and Kathleen Kennedy, and like the battle of like whose fault it is, and then you have Randy going on his side mission to try and find a handyman, but all the handymen are richer than lawyers and stuff now, and they're kind of bagging on college, and then like
Yeah.
it kind of connects because the oven door being broken is the place for the multiverse portal, and put the Pander Stone in there. It's so good with the Pander Stone and like the whole concept of
and
that.
the Integrity Farms, a place with integrity.
Yeah. Oh man, so funny.
It was. It was good to see that Matt Stone and Trey Parker weren't afraid to pull punches.
They usually never are.
People said they were a little too easy on like Bob Iger and stuff, but I'm like, yeah, I guess. But it was really like they were really just coming after Kathleen Kennedy. She was like the main target, and it's so good. Like you have the
but and the whole conversation with Kathleen Kennedy and Cartman, it's like a lot of us, even the three of us on this panel, would sit down and say, I gotta say, what are you doing? Like, I don't want to send you hate mail or anything, or threatening whatever, but it's like, Kathleen, what are you doing? It's just so you would think that maybe after a while you could sit down with her and talk to her about this stuff and say, the reason people feel this way, like a number of people, it's not that they want. I don't think it's so much they hate you. They just don't understand why this is not important to you. Like, can you explain this? Like, if you did an interview with Kathleen, Kennedy, like, it seems, and as you guys know, I think it's really ridiculous that a lot of media gives all these softball questions. I don't care what it is. I think you can give these. You should be able. These are adults. You should be able to give them tough questions. Like, you guys, do you understand why a lot of people think the Force is female and why these characters aren't developed? And you also understand that even in Star Wars, there have always been strong females characters. Always in Star Wars, there's always, from Padme to Leia. You can go down the list. There's other female characters that were strong, even in the books. So why do you feel like with Rey, for example, that she had to be this way? And I think I would probably ask Kathleen that. Now, would she just yell at me and say things? Maybe, but maybe not. So I would want to think with like how Cartman is with Kathleen Kennedy, that we could actually sit down in a coffee house and talk to the woman.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, Cash. Nowadays, you can't just sit down with somebody and have a civil conversation.
Not usually,
without
no.
somebody losing their crap.
Yep, not really, no. Not with a lot of people.
I was getting 10,000 hate mail a day. Sorry, Miss Kennedy. I'm sorry I sent you all those hate mail.
Yeah, I sent you about 10,000, 12,000.
It was a lot more than that after Indiana Jones. I like that joke too. That was a good one. It was like 13,000 that month when you came out with Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like we can't hate people that like stuff that we don't like. It's ridiculous. But I have to say, there's just still a lot of entertainment. If it's video games, if it's movies, if it's TV shows, just to make fun of this stuff. It's so easy. They just feed it to us. Like, cool, man. New material to talk about stuff.
Like, I miss old Saints Row where they would make it funny and they knew their humor and they would bag on stuff and they would have
they would
pop culture references in there, like Saints Row 3, and then they just completely went the opposite direction of like what got them there. Like, oh man, such a disappointment with where they took
because
Saints Row.
I think it was Saints Row 4. I could be wrong, but one of the Saints Row games they actually used this line.
One shall stand, one shall fall. Why throw away your life so recklessly?
That's when they were having fun making games, and they weren't
Yes,
trying to pander to people.
yes,
And
man. They were having fun, and even if there was any kind of agenda in there, like it made sense in the game. So changing anything from Saints Row, making it more politically correct, or even Grand Theft Auto doesn't make any sense because that's not how the games were. But the arrogant people will say, "Well, we're going to change it, and you're going to like it." It's like, why? No, this okay. You change it. See what happens. You're going to tell me sales aren't going to go down? If Grand Theft Auto 6 is more about political correctness than any of the other Grand Theft Auto games, how is that one not going to lose sales?
Very true.
yeah, it's a game series literally about the title. You're stealing cars. You're committing Grand Theft Auto. You're basically playing a villain,
Yes.
or an anti-hero in most of these games and stuff like that. It's
Mhm.
you know, what I mean, you're not supposed to be really rooting for these people for the most part. You
No.
know, like they're crime lords, and they're kind of, they're like Tony Montana's, the Scarfaces, and it's like,
Yep.
yeah, you root for him because he's an entertaining character, but he's not really the good guy of that film. Like,
No.
No.
and that's kind of what the Grand Theft Auto games are. Is like you're escaping into a world where you want to be like the big bad, crime boss, and
Yep.
the world revolves around you in a sort of way. And it's like, I don't know.
And I also will agree too
Someone
that
call
yes.
Cash
Yep. Right? Exactly.
Well,
Phil.
we've got a clip for that, Phil.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Oh,
But yeah, it's the same thing. Like it's not good even to go and say, "Oh, you bought this. Well, what's wrong with you? You're part of the problem." Like that's not good either. That doesn't help the situation either. People can spend their money on whatever they want, but when people tells you nothing is wrong with this game or nothing is wrong with the movie or nothing is wrong, like okay, I mean you can feel that way, but I have to say that's a stretch.
yeah.
As content creators, we have to be able to handle the good and the bad.
Yes, we do.
If somebody doesn't like the way we did our video, well, they're entitled to give you
Yes.
their opinion.
Yes, they are.
If somebody doesn't like the way you're playing a game, again, they're entitled to give their opinion. Doesn't mean it's right, doesn't mean it's wrong. It's their
Exactly.
opinion.
Exactly.
Yep.
And what do you think about criticism when it comes to creating content, whether it's a live stream or a video?
I mean, constructive criticism is good. I try to learn from it. But if
Mhm.
it's just hateful and you just want to try to
Doesn't
shit on
help.
me, it doesn't
Yeah.
help, and I'll probably
Never
delete it and
It
block
never
you.
helps. Yep.
But
It
if it's,
never helps.
trying to tell me how I can improve on my sound, or what I could do a little bit better, I'll try to take that into consideration. And
Mhm.
like we were talking about earlier, I always want to try to improve and
Mhm.
be a better content creator.
Mhm.
I'm nowhere near done or being like where I want to be at.
Mhm.
And where do you see your channel 6 months to a year from now?
A million, no.
Mhm.
It would be nice to get to 2,000 subscribers. Like that's my first goal, first and foremost. And
Come on, folks.
I was almost
Click
at
that link. Come on.
1,900, but I lost
We
a
can
good
do
amount
it.
of
Let's
subs.
do it. Come on. Come
Yeah,
on.
come
You know
on.
you want to. Get on the chopper. Subscribe to ApyOn. Do it. Do it now. Come
What are
on.
you waiting for? Do it. I'm
He's
here.
here. Subscribe.
Loud.
Do it. Yeah, I'm putting the links in the chat again. On both sides. Rumble and YouTube. Come on.
Yeah.
As you know, ApyOn, I like to have fun when I do these streams.
Oh yeah, you do a good Arnold impression.
He's working.
That's right. That's right. I'm working on it. That's right.
He's working on it. He's got to take the line for kindergarten cop. It's not a tumor at all.
It's not a
Yeah.
tumor at all. There you go, Cash.
I remember it was so fun when I was younger with my friends. Like we would you'd prank call people and use like the Arnold Schwarzenegger like switchboard, like with all his different quotes, and who is your daddy and what does he do? You call people and just start shooting off different Arnold quotes at them. What the hell is this? I even watched the video where someone did that, where they like called like a pizza parlor and like ordered pizza as Arnold or whatever. Want the pepperoni, the sausage, the anchovies.
And another thing that we all know that it's around, it's AI. So you have these AI voice mods that can make you sound like Arnold as you're speaking. Yeah, I'd like to order pizza. Yeah, I don't want any of those puny mushrooms. Come on.
Those are for the girly mans.
Yeah.
We want to pump you up. That's the SNL skit, though.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hans and
Hans and
Franz.
Franz.
Hans and Franz.
Dana
Yes.
Carvey. That was a good one.
Yeah, it was funny.
Oh yeah, when we did 1,500 and doing shots on stream, yeah. Rocco was going in that day.
But it's a happy event, when you get a subscriber and your channel reaches a milestone. And
Yep.
Be honest with me here. When you started this journey, realistically, how many subscribers were you expecting to get within your first year?
Nowhere near as much as I got. Like I thought I'd still be at like a couple hundred, but things happen and got a lot more than that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen people, they've had a couple years and they're still like working to get to 1,000. So I'm very blessed and honored to have this many people subscribe to my channel.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Good feeling.
And that's the thing about all of us. We are appreciative of all the support we get. Whether someone's watching a video or a live stream, we appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Take the time out of your day to watch something or listen to something that may not be scripted, because I don't really script a lot of my things, kind of just freestyling most of the time. So it's not like well structured. I need to get better at structuring my stuff, I think. But more stuff to work on and try to improve. But sometimes it's fun just to go in with a freestyle flow, so it's not, you don't know what to expect.
But you could also say that you do have a structure, especially when it comes to watching a movie. You want to at least sit down and watch it, or a TV series. Sit down and watch it so you know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And sometimes I'll take a little bit of notes, write down some key like talking points that I might want to bring up that I don't want to forget about later. Interesting things that happen, that try to find fun facts maybe that other people don't really know right off the top of their head. Because don't want to just sound like the same, just not really saying anything or bringing anything new to the table. That's
right.
That's like one problem I'm trying to work on too, is because anybody could say like, oh, I didn't like this or that, but I want to be like a little bit more constructive and giving more information than just this movie was okay, or I didn't like this part, which I still do a lot, but I need to have more of a critical way of discussing it, if you know what I mean, like more of like a movie critic or an actual critic way of describing things.
Yeah. And do you find it easier to talk about a movie or TV show for a video or during a live stream?
Probably that's an interesting one, because videos we've done like where we're not live, and it's kind of easier because if like we can take like more breaks and then think about it, and I mean, you can time it, and it's more on your schedule, where when you're on live, it's just like I don't want to have dead spaces, and I want to kind of always be talking or moving it along. So I think it's easier in like a video offline, but yeah.
And Cass, did you have any other questions you'd like to ask ApyOn?
I think we covered a lot. I think let's see. Oh, I think I do have a question for ApyOn actually. What is some of your favorite games, ApyOn, that you either enjoy playing on stream or off stream?
Mass Effect 2 is probably my number one.
It's a great game.
Favorite game that I've ever played. World of Warcraft, I probably put in so many hours, like
Nice.
insane amount of hours in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Just a lot of good computer games that I've spent a lot of time on, like the original Counter-Strike, Team Fortress 2, Left 4 Dead 2. Oh my gosh, I put a lot of hours into Left 4 Dead 2. Love that
Left
game.
4 Dead 2 is a great game, man.
Yeah, and like it was so fun playing it with mods and stuff where you can change what like the Hulk
Oh,
looks like. You know what I mean? Like the
that's
monster.
awesome.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
I have a lot of fun playing that game. Yeah, that is another aspect of gaming. Being able to do multiplayer gaming
Mm-hmm.
with somebody halfway around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it's awesome.
Yeah, definitely like The Witcher 3 was really fun, but I
I
think
still
like
need to finish that.
my favorite Nintendo game that I played recently was not the second Legend of Zelda. I didn't like Tears of the Kingdom because I don't like all that build shit. But I really, really liked Breath of the Wild. I thought that was a perfect game. Like that game was incredible.
Okay.
Yeah. Breath of the Wild definitely on my list. Star
Well,
Wars:
I
The
would.
Old Republic. There's a lot of good games that
Star
I
Wars: The
love.
Old Republic is a good game. Yeah, it could have been so much more, but it's still a good game. I don't know what direction they're going to take it in now, but yeah.
Before it went free to play and they like took away abilities and
Mhm.
stuff, it was really nice.
It was a fun game for a while. Yeah,
Last
And,
of
and
Us, another game.
the original.
And
The
yeah, the
original.
original.
Dempsey, you're right. She does look like Jessica Rabbit.
All right,
He's like, I got the proof right here.
is this in the Discord?
No, it's in his community page on his channel.
He's
On
like,
his
you wanted
channel?
receipts?
Oh,
I got
okay.
Yes,
receipts.
yes.
I don't know if I can look at that.
Here, chat.
You can
Here,
just-
Cash. Don't worry. You see what I got to put up with sometimes, ApyOn? Cash is whining. I don't know. Mike,
I don't know, man.
do we have to do it that way? Yes, Cash. There, the link's in the private chat. But my compliments to you,
Oh, yeah.
Dempsey, and my compliments to your wife. She's beautiful.
Oh wow, yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
like
was, yeah.
the
I just like to make Mike
Uncharted
use
games,
the word.
dude. Oh my god, those games.
Yes, the
Especially Uncharted 2. Oh my gosh, the music in
Uncharted
Uncharted 2.
2.
Woo.
Uncharted 2 is great. It's the end though gets a little repetitive with the shooting of the fruit and the final boss and the
Drake. I
3.
just love the
I
when
like
he's got the two girlfriends, you know, and he's like got Chloe and he's got Elaine and Elena, and he's just like, which one do you like better? You want this one or you want this one?
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
I
she
do want to
does.
say hello
Dempsey, I
to
agree.
Tripping Work.
She does, but yeah, thanks for sending me that link, Mike. I was being a little lazy, but I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
you were being a little whiny.
A little lazy.
Cash gets a little whiny. I don't know.
Because
Do
Mike
we want
never
to do it that
does.
way? Do we want to do it that way? No, I just get complacent where I want to be the boss, and I don't care how many times I die. I'm going to beat that boss.
Me too.
And Honey says, I heard Jessica Rabbit and came back to reality. She says, I prefer men, but it's Jessica Rabbit. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
No
No disagreement from me.
It's funny. No.
Jessica Rabbit. The reason Roger goes, please.
That's good.
Please don't let him hurt me, please.
But
Don't let him hurt me, Eddie.
Oh, and the baby smacking the girl in the ass.
Baby Huey.
That wouldn't fly today.
Thanks, Toots.
yeah.
So good.
I'll be in my trailer taking a nap.
Smoking a stogie, like
my stogie, my stogie. Ah. Yes, I loved watching that movie when it came out. Oh boy!
Too late. It put
a lot of
lotion
fun.
on the skin, or you get the hose again.
Yeah, but yeah, no, those are really good choices, man, of games. They yeah, that's Mass Effect 2, and if you've, I highly recommend stuff like Half-Life 2, Half-Life 1. You were talking about the Uncharted games. I think Uncharted 3 is a little bit better than Uncharted 2, but I thought Uncharted 2 was a great game. I thought the first Uncharted was very good. I think 4 is a great game. I think Lost Legacy is very good. But Naughty Dog, I feel right now, ApyOn is somewhat lost. The direction where you see with Last of Us 2, and they still can't get the multiplayer out. I have I don't have much hope in
Yeah,
Naughty
and
Dog lately.
they were gonna release a Star Wars game too, but I guess that got scrapped.
Yeah, right. Was Naughty Dog working on was that the Star Wars 1313? Was Naughty Dog working on that? No, I don't think they were actually.
I know
I
it
don't
was
think-
Lucas Games, but I don't
Yeah,
know who else was involved in that.
Yeah.
I don't think that the title was ever released, but it was going to be like a third-person adventure game.
And I
Yeah.
love this from T-Gab Steve. Baby Huey is how I wanted them to go with Grogu from The Mandalorian. He speaks and sounds like a 70-year-old New York cabbie.
Where you want to
Oh,
go?
man.
Yeah.
That Mario movie, what a disaster!
Oh man, that first one, the live action one, yeah, it was kind of.
And it had John Leguizamo, good casting
Yeah.
for Luigi, Bob Hoskins, good casting for Mario, Dennis Hopper as Bowser, but like
Yeah.
what they did with them is it was ridiculous.
No.
I wanted so badly to like that movie. I remember I tried to rewatch it. And I'm like, oh no, this is just as bad as when I watched it as a kid. This movie's terrible.
Mm-hmm. Because
There's such
watched
better
it, I'm
video
going,
game adaptations. Like Street
Oh.
Fighter is 1,000 times better than that.
Well, what about
that's
the
not
original
saying much.
Tomb Raider movie with Angelina Jolie?
Yes. The original Tomb Raider movie is pretty cool. The first Mortal Kombat film.
Oh yeah, the first Mortal Kombat.
The
is
first
great.
Silent Hill movie was very good, very surprising actually, very good film.
Yeah.
The first
Yeah, the
Resident
first
Evil
Silent Hill.
movie I thought was good. I couldn't get it. I tried to watch the second one. I'm like, they're changing everything. I can't watch this anymore.
Oh yeah, when she has a fist fight with Nemesis, it's so stupid. Nemesis has a fucking minigun in his hand, and he drops it so he can go fisticuffs with her, and
Oh man.
they have like a fight. It's so cheesy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It got even worse after that with the clones, dude. Oh my gosh.
What? And
They give
I
her
don't
like
know.
powers where she could like pop people's heads.
I don't think I saw that part, man. I remember watching the second one and they had Jill Valentine. I'm like, no, this is Raccoon City. Where's Claire? What are we doing here? It's just
Oh yeah, they blended like 2 and 3
Yes.
together and then took out
Yes.
Claire completely. Well, she doesn't come until the 4th one. Claire comes like in the 4th movie. And
Oh,
then
she
like
does.
Chris,
Okay.
they have a Chris Redfield that comes too. It's all over the place. Then like a Leon shows up near the end too, and an Ada Wong. It's just like all the video game stuff, but like mismatched in like a grab bag. They just randomly threw ideas at a chalkboard.
Let's throw this at the wall and see if it sticks.
Yep. He really is T-Cap.
Oh yeah, Raul Julia.
Yeah,
that monologue he gives. Oh my god.
That was
the day that Bison. Oh yeah.
Go ahead. Yep.
No, yeah, it was his last like role, right? And he did it for his kid, I think. But yeah, he's just like, the day that Bison came to your village was the worst day of your life. But for me, it was only a Tuesday. Such an amazing line.
Raul Julia was such a good Gomez Adams in the Addams Family movies too.
Oh, that's right. He was.
What a great actor.
Game over. We will have Bison dollars.
Yeah, they just. It shouldn't be hard to figure that out because, like, the first Mortal Kombat movie, which I think is still like the best of them, they figured that out. And so the Street Fighter film, you go and watch it in the theaters, and you're just like, what did I just watch? Like, it's just so weird. But Raul Julia, he killed it as Bison.
Oh yeah,
he
was incredible.
Yes. Man,
And then you had The Legend of Chun-Li, which was just
Oh, that movie.
one of the worst movies ever
Neil
made.
McDonough. Neil McDonough as the bad
Yeah,
guy.
he's a
Only
great
good
villain.
thing in that.
He,
Yes. It's
but
only good thing.
him as Bison, like he has an accent, like a weird Scottish accent. Then he loses the accent. Then it comes back. Then he loses it. It's like he didn't care. The directors, the staff didn't care. Just whatever you got today, just give us whatever you got. Okay, I'll give you an accent. Then the next day, all right, I'm Bison now. I'm doing regular deep voice. Like, and the ending of that movie, Chun-Li literally is a murderer. Like she kills Bison in front of his kid. It's
That's
terrible.
right.
She's
I
supposed to be the
forgot.
hero.
I did a very good job of blocking that film out, except Neil McDonough.
Not only does she kill him in front of her dad, she uses the little girl as bait to like he looks over there distracted, and that's when she like uses her legs and snaps his neck and spins his head around like so his head's backwards, looking at his daughter. I'm just like, this is so dark and terrible. I don't remember fatalities in Street Fighter. Like, that's the Mortal Kombat shit.
Yes.
Finish him.
Chun-Li wins.
I don't even think
Fatality.
Chun-Li was Asian in that, if I remember. I think they got the woman from Smallville or something.
Yeah,
right?
Kristen Krug. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that movie was a mess, but Neil
so
McDonough
terrible.
was good in it. But other than that,
yeah,
very very forgettable film.
Yeah, not a good one.
So my next question for you, ApyOn, is your top 5 favorite movies.
Oh,
top 5 favorite movies. Fifth Element's definitely in that list. I mean,
I'm shocked.
It's my avatar, and I've watched that movie so many times. The Dark Knight is probably number 1.
Oh yes, dude, great.
That movie's just for me. It's a masterpiece. Like
it's
from
a
the
great
opening
film, dude.
Opening second to the very end, it's just almost
Great
3 hours of just gloriousness.
Great film, dude.
Infinity War.
I like that one. I was very.
I'll try to pretend like what happened after Phase 4 didn't happen, just so it can stay in my top. But then, man, I'm trying to think of like non-superhero movies because there's Star Wars: Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, classic.
Lord of the Rings.
Which one?
Two Towers. Oh, that's a tough one too because all 3 of them are so good. If I had to pick one out of the trilogy, I guess it'd be Return of the King.
Yes. The one that won so many dang Oscars. It was great.
The extended version.
Oh yeah.
Not the theatrical. You gotta have the extended version.
That's how I started watching Lord of the Rings. It was 2 years ago. And I'd never watched the movies before. So instead of going for the theatrical cuts, I just went right in for the extended cuts.
It's a lot of hours.
I know it's a lot of hours, but I figured if I'm going to go in, I might as well go in big.
That's all. I did. Have I ever watched the extended cut of Return of the King? I don't think I have. I probably should.
You never seen the extended cut for
I don't think I've seen that one. No. I'll have to watch it.
It's real good. Like,
I'm sure it's amazing.
When they have the mouth of Sauron, which they don't even show in the theatrical, and Aragorn, he's like taunting Aragorn, and he looks like a character out of like a Guillermo del Toro movie, like Pan's Labyrinth or something.
Oh, that was a very good film. Yeah.
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 All right.
And Pan's Labyrinth, Guillermo del Toro, Hellboy 2, Golden Army is up there.
Oh, dude, very good.
That movie is so good.
Yeah,
and it's too bad we're not getting a third one. We really should get a third one.
Yes, that's one thing I would like to talk to Ron Perlman about. It's like, come on, we there had to be a way you guys could have found to get a third one.
Oh yeah,
and
because
I would
it's
like
sequel baited so hard with the death, with the the angel of death, and the taking the dagger out and telling her you'll suffer most of all, and like all these foreshadowing things.
And I got to go back and watch both those movies again. It's been so long. So fucking good, though.
Yeah, like the first one's great in its own right, but just like with what happens in Golden Army, there's so much stuff to love. Like Prince Nawada is such a good villain. You have, him, and then he's got the Golden Army, and then there's the big guy Wink that has like the arm that detaches.
It's fun.
Haven't seen the extended Lord of the Rings? Canceled. Dishonor on your Bitcoin. Dishonor on your cow coin.
You bring shame to your family.
Shirt,
Cash.
cap, whatever, man.
You know what, Cash? I'm sorry, but you know, there's just something I've got to
You gotta
do.
play. You gotta play.
Yeah, yeah. And Cash, I'm sorry, but for you,
That's it,
it's
man.
game over.
Game over, man. It's game over.
And he's gone.
Yeah,
I'm back. Yeah,
and he's gone again.
He's gone again.
and I'm back.
And he's
He's
gone.
gone.
And I'm back.
He's out. He's in. He's out. He's in.
Cash, you breed shame to all of us. Shame to the panel. Shame to the chat. You have not seen the extended edition of Lord of the Rings trilogy. What's wrong with you?
I've seen other stuff, but dude, do you know how many hours that is? I'm not saying it's bad, but
Cash?
it's
If you've got an issue, here's a tissue.
it's a lot of hours, man. But no, I might get to it.
Try to space.
How about no?
Watch one movie one day and then another movie another day. They do take up a good chunk of a day.
They do. And
Yeah,
Cash.
that's what I mean. Yeah.
Cash, the reason why we're heckling you right now is because
Do you see what happens, Larry, when you fuck a stranger in the ass? What happens?
Oh God,
I
love
don't
the Big
care,
Lebowski
man. You know
so
how many?
much.
Like I said, dude, that's like half a day right there. Like, I've watched other extended stuff, but I don't think I have watched the all the extended stuff. I've watched the extra features and things like that, guys. Of course, of Lord of the Rings and you know the documentaries and stuff. But no,
Baron, we're gonna have to have a conference at some point to discuss the future of Cash Money on this program.
sure.
Might need to
See
plan
what
an
I have to put up
intervention.
with sometimes, ApyOn. I'm telling you, man. Don't watch the extended cut of something and then like Megatron comes out of nowhere.
Well, you know what?
Megatron is the gun.
You know what? Because you haven't watched the extended version, Cash, of any of the Lord of the Rings,
I've watched.
you
one of
are this.
Extinction to all traitors!
them.
You see what I have to put up with, ApyOn, every
I know.
single episode of Pop Talk?
This must be hard work, man. It must be exhausting.
It is.
Yeah. But just this is what happens usually on the show.
How many assholes we got on this ship, anyhow?
Yo!
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Cash is that one guy still sitting down.
Are you trying to go over my helmet?
That's right. No, I'd probably be one of the guys who raises my hand or say yo.
Yo!
Oh man, it's just yep. This is
Great.
what happens on the show sometimes, ApyOn. So you know.
I try
It
to
happened.
bring a fun environment. If I
We
want to
like
be
to have fun
serious,
on here.
yes, we can be serious depending on the topic.
Yep.
But we like to have fun. I like to make sure that the guest has fun too.
We do, and then of course, you know, whenever Mike says something like that, then Phil McCracken comes out of nowhere. ApyOn, he says, "Finally, he fired Cash Money. He's finally gone.
He's just waiting.
Finally, he's just waiting, man. I'm a better replacement than Cash Money.
Yeah.
Where's Anonymous? Justice for Anonymous. Yeah, all this crazy stuff, dude. I always tell him though, ApyOn, I said, look, man, you have to take the red pill, not the blue one. Come on, dude.
No, man, I want to stay in the Matrix forever.
I still
I'm
haven't
like,
watched that fourth Matrix film. I don't know if
Oh, don't! It's fucking terrible. It's so bad. It ruins the trilogy.
But yeah, I will. I don't know. It's just you know, watching extended cuts of stuff. I did watch the extended cut. Crit showed it to me, ApyOn. He's like, "Hey, let's watch the extended cut." Excuse me, extended cut of the Batman vs Superman. And I said, "Okay," and I said, "Okay."
Oh my god, that one! There's so much useless scenes, like
And
Lois
I
Lane getting
know-
coffee for like 10 minutes. So
I know
boring.
people like it, but it's just not. the first hour I wanted to go to sleep.
The only
That
thing
movie
This was
bothered me.
Cash while he was watching it.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
So the only thing that I really liked about that movie that I remember was the Batman and Superman fight sequence. I like that. Other than that, I just go, why do I give a shit about this film? Yep.
Yeah, and Batman just killing people without remorse and branding criminals. It's a different type of Batman, that's for sure.
Yep.
That's for sure. And folks, we are near the time where we are going to be making our transition over to Rumble exclusively. But before we do that, ApyOn, is there anything you'd like to promote over on your channel?
Yeah, I'm gonna be playing more games. Maybe try to get through some more Alan Wake 2 on my channel. Gonna bring back my Treehouse hangout streams. Maybe the Lighthouse ones too for like the late nights. Other than that, expect more like live movie discussions in the future. We might do like Demolition Man next or something. I definitely want to do like the Underworld series with those Kate Beckinsale movies we were talking about earlier. And that's pretty much all I really have planned coming up so far. Thank you.
All right. Not a problem, brother. And Cash, what's coming up on the Phantom Hooligans? I wish it was still October because then I can say Phantom Hooligans.
Well, I'm going to be doing part 3 this week of Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I've actually been enjoying that game, and it's by Insomniac Games. See, Insomniac, you can do things that make people happy again. No, but that game's been fun. And then, of course, on Friday, as long as everybody's still up for it, Broforce. Because usually on Fridays, I rotate this certain game. So right now we've got 3 or 4. So we've got Vermintide 2, Broforce, and then Mythforce. So I've been rotating through those 3 games. And if people have those, they're welcome to join. And those streams are at usually 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So.
Ooh, very nice. And Rocco does bring up 2 Guys Ghostbusters soon.
All right.
For ApyOn's channel.
Sounds good. Gives me a reason to rewatch the first 2 movies again. Like I need a reason.
There are certain movies you don't care how many times you've seen them before. You enjoy sitting down and watching the Ghostbusters, Back to the Future.
Oh yeah, they have unlimited like replayability.
That they do. And as far as what's coming up on PACIFIC414 on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and Rumble, tomorrow, your move, creep, dead or alive, you're coming with me. That's right. I'm going to continue my playthrough of RoboCop.
Woohoo.
Rogue City. So that's going to be coming up. And then Friday, I'll be joining Cash and Baron and whoever decides to join us as we play Broforce. So it'll be Bro Money 007, yep. Baron Orman Tagge, and PACIFIC414. Bro.
Yep.
And then Sunday will be the Sunday edition of Pop Talk, where we're going to talk about the different topics that have been going on this week. And there's been plenty going on. I just have to decide, okay, what do we really want to talk about? What do we not really give two craps about? But that is what's going to be coming up on PACIFIC414. And for those of you who are over on YouTube, you're invited to follow us over to the Rumble side. I've included the link in the chat. So please come with us over to the Rumble side, because that begins now.
Rumble, rumble, rumble.
Let's get ready for Rumble! That's right, everybody. Thank you for watching over on YouTube. Rumble, stick around. We'll be right back.